welcome to Pots and Plants with
Pots and Plants.
Hell yeah, and I've got an Ichi
Hell
Bean.
yeah. And there's Ichi Bean.
And I got an Ichi Bean.
Speaking of Ichi Bean, today's topic.
Cats and houses and houses and cats.
We're going to talk about our cats. Because our cats are like our lives.
Ichi Bean.
We are...
Ichi Bean. Does whatever oh, sorry.
It's
Thank you.
fine.
Thank you.
We
Sorry.
are unapologetic
Ichi Bean.
cat moms.
Ichi Bean. Does whatever an Ichi Bean does.
And then also in the spirit of holidays, I'm eating a bowl of pumpkin pie. Yes, it's absolutely covered in Cool Whip. I don't care. Alright, so, Pots.
I got the same weed as last time, or the same pots as last time. I don't give a shit anymore. We got the same pots as last time. I got the same wax as last time. And I got the same thing this is last time. Can you see how fast I go through shit? Or I just re-up with the same exact thing. So that's basically what I'm doing. I'm actually going to load a bowl real quick because I have not smoked this morning. And this morning was a morning of disappointments.
Plants activity is that I have this large Hoya carnosa that is putting off this very long runner that needs...
It needed some smoke.
Basically, she just needs a bigger trellis. Is her problem. So
look at the baby.
I'm
She's
gonna
putting out.
Re-trellis her with this trellis.
Oh,
It's technically like a wreath thing, but I cut the end of it, and so we're gonna use that as her new trellis.
Hell yeah.
She's also give her lots of space to grow.
And then we also, if you didn't know this, we are very dedicated bitches to our labels. I am the Dr. Pepper and she is the Coca-Cola.
Oh, so yeah, I think we talked about that.
We did, but that's why I needed to explain that we do in fact have our signature drinks. And then what I will be doing is I have this because there's a thing called the red nail theory. And I want to try it because we're going out tonight and then I'm seeing Gear tomorrow. I will explain that. So there's a lot of theories of attraction. There's like pheromone, perfume that gives off, that it accentuates your own natural pheromones.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yes.
I've seen like TikTokers or whatever use
yes,
that.
And it
like
actually,
their husbands go insane.
And it is actually a thing. It does actually increase. It's a sciencey thing that acts with the chemicals in you to produce that pheromone. So the red nail theory is men are especially attracted to women wearing red nail polish, and that attraction exists because men remember seeing their mothers and teachers wear red nail polish when they were children. I don't know that that's necessarily true about the why, but I know that there has been links of red nail polish attract, or kind of like thinking of like a siren to men. Like where it's like you see a bright color and you go, ooh, shiny. It's kind of like that. It's enough to make you stop and be like, ooh. And so I'm feeling a bit meh because I feel like I kind of got rejected twice in 1 week, which I did. It's not just a feeling, I kind of did. But so I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna make myself feel pretty and make myself feel attractive, and I'm gonna have red nails.
It's weird because there's actually legitimate science behind like different colors and the way that they make you feel about certain things. Which is why lots of brands will use specific colors.
Oh yeah, that's like food uses a lot of reds and yellows because they are proven to make you hungry. So yeah, no, absolutely, totally is a thing.
It's
I
also
learned
why
that
a lot of places will paint their kitchens or their dining rooms red.
It's I learned that in marketing. Yeah, we did. I was in a marketing class in high school, and that was one of the things we studied was how colors make us feel. Like there was a theory that pink was going to calm some of the male gentlemen because in short aspects, baby pink was shown to be a very calming color. But when you left it for too long, that calm turned into aggression. Which is very, very interesting. You wouldn't think that, but it's true. And so that's why a lot of things are not painted pink, because after prolonged exposure to pink, there's a lot of aggression that comes up, which is why you should really not paint your child's room pink. Yeah. Like you can paint it like pink accents, but just having the whole thing pink, you are begging for temper tantrums. just absolutely begging for them.
Yeah. I think that's also why a lot of, what is it, bedrooms are painted purple.
Purple or blue.
Yeah, purple or
Blue is proven
It's,
to
like,
be a very calming
calming.
color. Yes.
And I think purple is more like a sensual.
What would you want your bedroom, since we're talking about houses, what would you want your bedroom painted? And your ideal dream house. We're talking about, when we're talking about houses,
super
we're
dark
doing
green,
dream houses.
like Slytherin green,
I could see that. That seems
with
like
like
a
black
very,
accents.
yeah, that's a very like chill color. Very you. But also just very
But of course, any room in my house is probably going to be painted either a dark color or have accents of dark colors.
I was gonna say, if your whole
'Cause, you
house
know,
isn't
goth
repping.
aesthetic.
I was gonna say, if your whole house isn't remnant of the Addams Family, what the fuck are you doing?
That depends on which rendition of the Addams Family. Because if you looked at the color pictures of the old school Addams Family, their house is like pastel because of how it shows up on camera
Well, yeah,
in black and white.
but that's because they were trying to go for the aesthetic of black and white. There is a piece of glass right here, my love.
Oh, that's weird.
Right? I found a piece of like it was like this big by this big, and it was like, and it was this thin, and it was just like a little piece of plastic in my bed. And I cannot figure out where it goes to. I can't figure out what it was, but it's just this little piece of broken plastic that was in my bed, and I'm like, what the fuck? But no, yeah, but that's because of how it showed up on TV. It was meant to be seen in black and white, so the aesthetic would still be the dark, mysterious version because they needed it to look.
Yeah, but like the actual colors of everything that was in the black and white film was all like pastel pinks and blues.
Well, yeah, but that's because it wouldn't show up right if it wasn't.
Yeah. Because if it was actually dark,
Excuse
then it
me
wouldn't
while
show up right. Yeah, it's like women wore, was it like yellow? It's like pastel yellow lipstick to make it show up as red on camera in black and white.
Yep. Excuse me while I become less blind. So far, this is where we're at. Getting some nails. These are my normal nails. They look like shit. Sorry. You
I
okay?
apologize for the way your nails look.
They're naked. Of course I have to apologize for that.
Have you seen mine? They look like trash.
Yeah, but your nails aren't usually like...
My nails are real short right now.
You also don't have an obsession with having your nails done. And I do, because it makes me feel pretty and complete, and like, even though I don't wear makeup or jewelry very often, like, I do feel like my nails just make me feel more put together.
Yeah, I need to do my nails again because my nails are getting shorter and shorter.
We'll buy you some fake nails.
I have fake nails, I just don't have any glue.
Bitch. All the goddamn time. All the goddamn time. I need to go buy more, actually. This one's about out. But all the fucking time. Do not use the stupid ass super glue that comes in those motherfucking boxes of fake nails. Do not use the nail glue. It's stupid and it sucks. Get you some actual legitimate super glue. Just use that shit. It stays on longer. It'll come off with acetone just like normal shit. And what?
I was just looking at it.
Oh.
It's kind of an orangey red.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's red.
It's red. It is
It's bright red.
red. It is more red than I am used to. Let's put it that way. I am a yellow bitch, so red is like, because I was always told growing up my face was red, so like I stayed away from reds because I didn't want everyone to be like, oh my god, red. It matches
you
her
okay?
face. It matches her face, and then I'd be like,
You know, houses. So, like, what kind of architecture do you like? Like, what style or era?
I like Storybook, or Storybook, like, aesthetics. Very cottagey, very cottagecore. I also do like maximalism with a lot of clutter. Like, your porch makes me so happy because it's just like there's stuff everywhere. But it's a very almost organized chaos, which is why I enjoy it.
Yeah. All plants.
Oh, and we also were doing cats, and this is again Ripley, baby Foof. We're also gonna start a TV show with Foof and Bean, Bean and Foof, two little rascals under the same roof.
Yep.
You're, sir, ma'am, whatever you are.
Child. I usually
You thing. You motherfucking thing.
No.
All right, I'm gonna take a dab in a minute,
No.
but no, my aesthetic is very much, I don't know, architecturally. I've just started exploring Sims builds as far as like architecture and what I like and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm very much into storybook cottagecore looking aesthetics. Very simple. Maximalism is definitely, I'm not a minimalist. Like, it looks very clean, but I can't keep it that clean because I have cats and I have clutter and
Yeah. I would definitely say that I am also a maximalist. Maybe not intentionally, but I definitely am, because I also have a house that's absolutely full of stuff. And it's just stuff.
But you couldn't be without that stuff.
Yeah, like the front porch is covered in plants and pots for the plants and dirt for the plants and tools for the plants, and then there's also like my jewelry making stuff, my, and then I have like some art that's out here, and I'm like, I like to fill every empty space. I hate empty spaces.
That is the maximalist way.
Yeah.
So, yep, understood. I will also say that ideally my dream house would have an office / library. However,
I can see that for you.
However, I will also say that that is somewhat realistic because not a lot of houses have like an extra room that can be a true real library type thing.
Yeah.
No, so my newer dream has been to have a house with a walk-in closet and transform that walk-in closet into a library.
Yeah.
Because that is so much more realistic, and it doesn't take, I mean, you can get shelves from IKEA that you can screw into the walls.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't take a whole lot, and it's a smaller space, which means like you don't have to have a million bajillion books, but it will actually still feel very cozy and comfy.
Mm-hmm.
That would be so fucking cool.
Yeah. That would be really neat.
But I would like, if not an office, a space for my computer so I can like game and shit too.
Yeah, 1000%. Yeah, I'd say that my preferred architecture type is probably, I really like, of course, Victorian style houses.
Yeah.
I love the gorgeous, like, wraparound front porches and
Those very old, elegant.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love, love, love that style of house. My other favorite, I'd say, is probably like English colonial type of not like that. I mean, those are cute. Those are fine. But like that the fairy house that's on the
Yes,
that's on the corner.
that was kind of part of mine when
Yeah.
I was saying like the aesthetic of storybook, because it gives me like vintage colonial storybook vibes.
Yeah.
It's like a mix. It's a mix of me and her. That's why we both love that fucking house. That is one of our favorite houses to walk past.
It's true. Love that house. And yeah, so that's probably like the aesthetic that I like the most. As far as like the outside of the house. Inside of the house, definitely, the Gothic, Victorian.
I'm shocked.
But I also, I don't know, I also kind of like modern goth feel too.
Yeah.
Like I don't necessarily need my house to look like a vampire's house, or at
Well,
least
I feel
not,
like
at least not an old vampire.
So when it
I mean,
comes,
like new vampire.
yeah, I feel like your bedroom could be old vampire. You would
Yes,
really enjoy
yeah,
that. But your
yes.
kitchen,
with the four-poster bed and all
Yes.
of the lacy filigree.
but the kitchen would be new vampire.
Yes.
You would not survive in an old vampire kitchen. You would hate that.
Yeah.
But new vampire kitchen, very sleek and modern and stylish, but still very dark and twisty. You would adore that.
Yep. Definitely.
See, now I'm trying to figure out if the bathroom would be old or new.
No.
New.
No.
Okay.
I like the look of old bathrooms, but I also really I find tile to be annoying. It's really pretty, don't get me wrong, but like I like clawfoot tubs, and I really want kind of like the giant triangle corner jacuzzi tub.
The Sims tub.
Yeah.
The Sims tub. Got it.
Yeah.
Those things.
So, because while I find clawfoot tubs to be beautiful, for me they're not functional because they're just not big enough.
There are clawfoot tubs that are big enough.
I know, but for 2 people?
No, there are. So what you do in those senses is instead of getting necessarily a bigger tub, which you would want a little bit wider, you would want deeper. So instead of it coming up like your bathroom tub right now barely hits like the middle of our shins, maybe our knees, you would want something that came up to your hips. And that way it would be taller.
Oh, I dropped a twisty tie.
It's like one of those tubs that you could put a chair in.
Yeah.
But I also understand the jacuzzi tub angle because those things are amazing. I lived with someone with like a corner jacuzzi tub.
Yeah.
And then your old house used to have a jacuzzi tub, and that thing was amazing. Bitch to clean, but amazing. I'm assuming in this hypothetical situation we have maids.
Oh, well, sure. Yeah, why not? I mean, I don't know, I've bounced back and forth between the ideas of like having a big fancy like huge mansion type of house and then looking at it and being like, ew, I'm gonna have to clean that. And so then I go back to the idea of more like a middle-sized house, like one of the houses that's around here.
Yeah.
Like if I had like a house that was like this size, where it's like it's a decent-sized house, but it's not like.
But you would
huge.
still hate cleaning it. I mean, you don't necessarily like.
There'd be less to clean because then I'm not cleaning an entire mansion's
Get a
worth
maid
of shit.
service once every 2 weeks. We're also assuming that we're rich at this point because we have enough money to have the house of our dreams.
Yeah.
So a maid service every 2 weeks is not much.
Yeah.
Okay. Load this bowl and then I'll...
Let's see. Yeah, bathroom definitely modern. Kitchen modern. Bedroom vintage. Living room, I think I would also probably want to be vintage style.
I can see that.
Because boy howdy, I love me some Victorian couches.
Those things are so cool.
They're gorgeous and reupholstered, but like with black and like gothic colors and stuff. Chef's kiss.
As long as you don't have velvet, because if you get velvet, I'm gonna carry a butt pad with me around your goddamn house.
No, I do like faux leather. Or
Okay,
something.
perfect. I love that.
Because those are easier to clean. And I'm sorry, but velvet in my house full of cats? No, ma'am.
No, that's legit. Like I always, there are these houses that I've grown up seeing, and I've always wanted one, and they're not anything super special. It's like you walk in, there's a foyer, stairs to your right, to the left is like an office, and then if you right before the stairs to your right, there's like an entryway to like a formal dining room. And then you walk forward and you're into the grand living space to your left, and then to your right is like a kitchen, a corner kitchen with a giant island in the middle. And then underneath the stairs going up, there's stairs going down to like a basement that's like a playroom, like a fun room, game room, whatever. And then when you go upstairs, there's like 2-3 bathrooms, 3 bedrooms, and like laundry. Like, I don't know, just something, it sounds so weird, but I can visualize it perfectly. And the problem I have with Sims is that I can't put stairs underneath stairs, so I can't actually create my vision. Anyway, so no, that's what I picture in my brain for like my perfect house. And I don't know why. It's not anything super special, but it's like that would be ideal. It's like a middle class house. That sounds really bad, but it is. It's a middle class house.
I mean, it definitely is.
And that's my dream, because I dream to be like able to afford shit like a middle class person.
Yeah. It sounds honestly a whole lot like Talia's old house. Where it's got like the big kitchen with the island in the middle and her big formal dining room.
Is that the one that had the big formal, is that the one that had the big formal green room, or is that the one she lives in now?
That's the one she lives in now.
Okay. So
Yeah,
I never
with
saw
the
her
huge
old one.
sunroom.
Yeah, I never saw the old one.
Okay.
But it's I've seen that one. I've seen the house I'm talking about, or one similar to it. My friend that I grew up with, Drew, his family, his family, actually had a house like that, like the one I'm describing.
Yeah, I was saying,
and
what
it
you
was.
described sounds a lot like Toledo's old house.
It's very copy paste of middle class people, but it's like the exact design that I want is like my dream. I'm gonna see if I can create it on Sims. I really just don't know if I can. But that would be my absolute dream. The only problem I have right now is that I'm not playing any 2-story houses in Sims, because when you do that, the game lags because they try to go upstairs for fucking everything. So I decided in the Legacy Challenge that I'm playing that I'm not
doing a single story.
I'm doing a single story for every. You saw my text last night, right? Where my Snapchat, where I was talking about how I'm super fucking sad because I raised three generations. Yes, and I completed the new house, and it is gorgeous, but I actually didn't even build it. I downloaded a shell off the gallery and filled it with what I wanted, but and it's still super pretty, and there's a graveyard in the back, which is very Adam's family, but it's so cool, and I'm just so sad that I can't do a 2-story, because for my Sims to live in my old dream house, or in my dream house, would be incredible.
I don't know, what about the outside of your house? Or like your yard or whatever.
I've never really.
I'm sorry, but the outside of my house is gonna be a huge ass fucking garden.
I was gonna say I haven't thought much into it. I've always said though that I really want a moss yard.
Yeah, you do want a moss lawn. We've talked about that.
I've always wanted a moss lawn. It's super easy keep, which is good for me because I do not like mowing yards. It's not fun for me. But if you don't mow your yard, which I found out this year living in a house, the city tells you, oh, hey, we're going to fine you if you don't mow your yard. So, I want a moss yard. So that way I don't have to worry about mowing it. And moss is also a really cool feeling kind of plant. And it doesn't bug you. It doesn't like make you all itchy or anything. And it produces a lot of fucking oxygen. So I would want a moss yard. In the front yard, I would want it all moss, maybe a couple trees. Just very basic, very fun. Maybe a catio out front. Where
I definitely want a catio.
Where like it's I would want it as a specific build. Like if we used your porch as an example, like this window would go all the way to the floor, and then like halfway from the top would be like an entryway to like this outward build where it's just literally like as tall as the wall is, but it's just this like, I don't want to say cage, but it's very much reminiscent of like a tiger's cage. But it's just enough room for them to be able to climb, be able to look at things, things like that. That would be...
Yeah, that'd be super cool.
I also think I want a skylight in my house somewhere. Like
Skylight would be nice.
Like maybe like in the kitchen.
I obviously want a giant greenhouse. Either attached or unattached to the house. I want a giant ass greenhouse.
Oh, I figured. You would have to... Probably attached because you would hate going outside in the winter to get to the attached, but you wouldn't want it like attached like the greenhouse be inside the house. You would want it like almost like garage-esque, where it's like you have a door that leads to this separate entity that is basically kind of
like a vestibule between the house and the greenhouse.
Yes, either a vestibule or it's again just like one of those where it's like just something that separates it just a little bit, but it's still attached to the main house, so you don't have to go outside in the winter, because you would hate that. And then your plants would die because you'd be like, I don't want to go outside.
You never go out there and take care of them.
Exactly.
Like, it's cold.
Exactly. And then in the spring, you'd be like, why are all my plants dead? It's because, bitch, you didn't take care of them.
all attached and everything.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Okay, well then tell us all about your
So, yeah,
cats.
this is. Here, I can pull it back so that way you can see it. There we go.
I know, you've been kind of out of frame all video.
Yeah. Well, I've been over here working on
I know,
the
I
plant
know.
in my face. Here, I'll do this.
Oh my god, it's framing you perfectly.
Yeah, we'll just do this.
You could, yeah, just
Here, hold on.
do
I'll
it.
turn it around so that way it's the pretty side out. There we go. And
There
then
we
I'll
go.
just sit here for the rest of the podcast like this with my plants.
Well, here. There we go.
So that works.
Now you're a little
Just
more.
sit back here and drink my Coke and my plants.
So tell us all about your cats, Kylie.
I have a lot.
She does.
I have 8. I have 8 cats. My 2 oldest are Leviathan, or Levi, and his sister Alice. They're litter
Formerly known as Lilith.
Lilith, yes.
I'm sorry, I love saying
Thank
that.
you to my biological mother. She changed her name and didn't bother to, like, ask me for permission. Or...
So here's how,
She didn't get
if I
consent for that.
may. If I may.
She just decided that
Yeah.
she needed a different name because she didn't like the one I picked.
She literally went, there was literally a conversation where Kylie was like, no, her name is Lilith. And her biological mother went, she doesn't look like a Lilith. She looks like an Alice. So I'm going to call her Alice. It's like,
That was a conversation that was had.
it really is.
And what was I going to do? Tell her no?
I live with her. Like, you could tell her no, but it's not like she's going to listen. There was nothing at that point you could have done.
That, and she also kept just calling her Alice. Like, she kept, because I would call her Lilith, and then Mom would call her Alice,
And then she'd listen to
and then
Alice.
she would listen to Alice. She would react to Alice because that's what my mom kept calling her. And at the time, she really liked my mom and thought that I was okay. Look bright, nice, heck yeah.
It'd be hot tonight, ladies.
But yeah, so that was frustrating, but whatever.
It's kind of like, for those who don't understand this, like, why it's not as easy as you think to just be like, no, her name's Lilith. It's like a child. It literally is. It's like if you have a child, like that's literally learning their names. So maybe not even a year old, but but still pretty young. And you start calling that child, the babysitter, basically, calls that child by a different name all day, every day. And when you get home, you try to call it by their real name, and they don't know it, so they don't listen. And so when that pattern repeats, eventually they're going to think that that babysitter's name for them is their real name. Mm-hmm. Well, that's what was happening because Alice was around her biological mother more than her at the time because she was in school and working.
Yep.
And her mom was too, but she was also, like, whenever she was home, she was constantly around her. And so, yeah, it's just, basically she learned her name was Alice, and that is what she responds to.
Yep.
She never knew Lilith as her name because it wasn't really
It's not
called.
what was said.
Ooh.
It's not what she was called all the time.
By the way.
Heck yeah.
Holy
Look
shit.
at that white ass red. Yes, baby. It's nice.
I feel like a lady of the night in, like, the hottest way.
Heck yeah, girl. Yeah.
I feel spacey.
Yeah, so those are my 2 oldest.
Sorry, yes.
Levi and Alice. Levi is my good boy. He is
Bubba's.
that
He's a good boy.
he is that TikTok meme of you always have the angel, the troublemaker. What's the other one? There's always 3.
Angel, the troublemaker, and the one who doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Ah.
Levi is the angel. He's the good boy. He is the can do no wrong.
Yes.
Baby boy.
Even if he does wrong, he does no wrong.
He doesn't know any better. Him's just a baby.
Doesn't matter if he's the oldest.
Yes,
He's just a baby.
He's definitely not a baby anymore.
He's the oldest.
So he and Alice are
Littermates.
He and Alice are littermates, and they are, I think, 5 this year. 4,
Yes.
5.
5. It would be 5
They're 5
because
this year.
I've had Lannis for 4, and I got Lannis after you got the kittens.
Thank you, Ripley.
Wait, no, I didn't. No, I did not.
No, I had Levi and Alice before you got Atlantis.
No, because Atlantis was staying at your house. and the kittens weren't there because it was Sylvie
Yeah,
and
Frank. Okay.
So it was before the kittens. So they're probably at that age, but I had Lannis before you got the kittens.
Yeah.
But just barely.
Yeah, because...
So it would be about...
she's 4.
Lannis isn't 4.
Oh. No, I'm sorry. I didn't think that she was 4.
No, she's like 9.
Yeah. I was
She's
like,
old
I was like, 'cause she was she was already a full-grown adult and had
She's
been an
grumpy
adult
old
for a
lady.
while before I got.
Yeah, no,
so,
she's like, I think we estimated 4 or 5, and I've had her because I just had, yeah, Avalon just turned 4 this year. He's turning 5 next year.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've had her for, it'll be 5 years in January. So yeah, they're about 5.5. They're about 5.5 right now.
Yeah. I'll say I have their birthdays written on the calendar.
Which is so cool that you know their exact birthdays.
I estimate it based on the fact that I was told that they were exactly 6 months old on the day that I got them, and so then I take the day that I got them and go back 6 months, and then I rate that as their birthday.
See, I just can't do the birthdays because I don't know any of their birthdays. I have to estimate it so much that I'm just like, fuck it, it's your gotcha day.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, gotcha day works too.
Gotcha day and birthday, same day.
Yeah. And honestly, that works. Like, because there's a lot of people that don't have any idea, how old their pets are. And so they just go with their gotcha day.
Well, and
like
that's what I have to do
works.
with Atlantis, my oldest. Sorry to disrupt from hers,
No,
but
you're fine.
Atlantis, my oldest, she was rescued, basically. Her name was Cannabis. And I changed it because at the time I was trying to go into a career, in a law office, and 4 or 5 years ago, Cannabis was not a good name for someone going into law. Plus, again, we were rescuing her, so I was like, okay, she needs a new name for her new life.
Yeah.
And so I think it was up to Candace and Atlantis, because I wanted something that sounds similar. Yes. But I wanted something different, and someone, I think it was your biological mother, told me Candace sounded like a bitchy cheerleader. And I was like, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
And so basically her name became Atlantis. And she is now my grumpy old lady who hates the baby.
Fat girl.
She fat girl.
Girl.
She was unfixed before I got her. And apparently, I didn't know this because I was always so worried that I was doing something wrong, but apparently it is very common when your cats are fixed as adults for them to gain weight after they are fixed, which made me feel a lot better because I was like, fuck, I'm doing something wrong, because she was a skinny girl. But she was unfixed because I think the lady we rescued her from just didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was very nervous about that, but she is a fat, happy girl who hates her littlest brother with a passion, depending on the moment. Sometimes she's grooming him, sometimes she's hissing at him because he's trying to play and she says, fuck you. But she still plays with Avalon, so I'm all good with that.
Yeah.
And then your next ones are actually the next oldest in our litters.
It's true. As I said, the oldest...
What are they called? They're not litters. What am I thinking of the word? For our clutch, our...
Clouder?
Clouder.
Clouder.
I feel like we technically have a combined Clouder, even though our cats have never met.
Yeah.
But like we're going down the list as if it's a combined Clouder right now. So.
Oh yeah, that's true. I'll say Atlantis has
never met any of these
I'll say
ones.
the 2 that she met are no longer with us.
Rest in peace, Frankie and Sylvie.
Yeah. But so Levi and Alice are my oldest, and then my second set of litter mates. Because I try my hardest to always get cats in pairs. It helps them grow up better, to have a sibling, or a litter mate to live with, because while cats can be solitary animals, they do like to be social. It helps them learn better hunting skills. It teaches them how to, like, whenever they're like play wrestling and stuff, it's really hard for them to learn when to stop. if they don't have someone that they're like, if the other cat, they don't have another cat that they're playing with that says, hey, that's enough, I've had enough, please stop. Then they don't learn that cue, and then they wind up playing with their owners, and then they play with their owners to the point where they like
Too rough.
they're too rough, and then they cause like scratches and bites and stuff like that. So
Sorry, I keep messing up this one nail.
no.
Yeah, it's really fucking annoying.
Well, I have my nail stuff with like the nail polish remover and cotton swabs and.
I might need some of
Stuff like
those because
that.
these are looking a little messy because I keep having to fix this. So I might need those, but we're good for the moment. Sorry, continue.
No, you're fine. And so I try to always get cats in pairs, and so I wound up with Alice and Levi because they were litter mates, and then the next set that I actually got from whenever I was in vet tech school, and so their names are Fenrir, 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 and Andromeda, because their mother's name, who their mother was the advocate that I had at school, and her name was Cassie, which was short for Cassiopeia, the constellation.
I thought about adopting Cassiopeia at one point.
Yeah. And so that was their mama. But I brought home 2 of her kittens, one of the girls and her only boy. Because she had 4 kittens total, 3 girls and 1 boy, and so then I brought home one of the girls and the boy. Because, and I honestly thought about adopting Fenrir, pretty much as soon as she had them, and then I was like, no, I really shouldn't. I have these other cats, and I really shouldn't bring more home, like, as, I don't know.
The constant conversation she has every time she brings a new cat home.
Yeah. I already have all these cats. Do I really need to bring this one home? Am I sure? Like, can I don't know. And then somebody else was like, I'm going to adopt the little black one, and I'm going to name him Blackberry. And I said, I would like to put in an adoption application for 2 of Cassie's kittens, please.
Blackberry?
Blackberry?
Ew.
She's going to name him Blackberry. And I
Ew.
said, fuck you, I'm taking this cat home.
Fuck you. That made my decision for me. This is my baby.
Yeah, I was like, as soon as somebody else showed interest, I was like, this cat's mine. This cat's coming home with me. And then I was like, okay, but if I can't just bring you home, I have to bring home you and one of your sisters.
Of course.
And so then they all wore different colored collars. Different colored collars to identify them by.
Mm-hmm.
And so Andromeda wore a red collar, and then her sisters wore a blue collar and a flower printed collar, because those were the 3 like smallest collars I could find.
Yeah.
That we had. And so then the other 2 I named like Flora and Blue.
Ooh, okay.
So those are just
super
their nicknames.
Freaking creative there.
I know. Well,
what was her name, Red?
They were the other. No, Andromeda's name was Andromeda. I knew that whichever one of the girls I took home, I was gonna name her Andromeda, because in the mythology of Cassiopeia and everything, her daughter's name is Andromeda.
Ah.
In the actual mythology, Cassiopeia's daughter's name is Andromeda, so that's why Andromeda has
And
her
yes,
name.
by the way, yes, Fenrir is a werewolf.
Yes.
But
In Norse mythology.
yes.
He's a wolf.
A lot of
But
people
the reason for
mention
that, the reason why he got his name is because whenever he was tiny kitten, he had these white/gray hairs that went all up and down his arms, and he was kind of fluffy looking with all these like white and gray hair, so he looked like a tiny werewolf, and so I named him Fenrir.
That's adorable.
And so that's how Fenrir and Andromeda got their names. Alright, now you need to talk about Avalon.
Okay.
So we can go back and forth.
Okay,
Because I'm
yes.
gonna have a lot.
Yeah, I know.
So
So Avalon, well, I guess I'll tell, you got the kittens last, so I will tell Asgard right before you tell the kittens.
Yeah.
So Avalon is my second. He's my baby boy. I adore him. You're not supposed to have favorites. I have a favorite. Hers is Levi. Mine is Avalon. He is an all black cat, and he is my baby. So I was looking for about 6 months after I got Atlantis. I was looking for a friend for Atlantis because I was like, I'm gone all the time. She has no one with her. And I was like, that's not really fair. And I was like, no, I need a friend for her. So she worked at a clinic at the time.
Emergency animal hospital.
Yes. And one of her coworkers was fostering some kittens. And there were 2 left. One was an all-black kitten and one was a calico kitten. And I told her I wanted the black one, and she said, I don't know if it'll still be there. I have some other people interested. If not, would you take the calico one? And I said, yeah, absolutely. I just want a friend. And so I decided that if I got the black one, their name is going to be Avalon, because I wanted to stick with mythical cities.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't letter A.
It wasn't an A thing, because if I got the calico, her name was going to be Camelot.
Oh, okay.
So it had nothing to do with A's, which is why I think it's so fucking funny that all of my cat starts with A's, because that was not the plan. And so I ended up getting Avalon. We picked him up. He was exactly 8 weeks old, I think, if I remember correctly, or right at that 8 weeks old. He was so fucking tiny. I lived in a studio, and he stayed in my bathroom while I introduced them. And I would open the door occasionally just to kind of let them sniff a little closer. And Atlantis would always hiss and run, which is kind of her signature thing she does. And Avalon did not really seem to care. So at one point I was like, okay, I'm going to open the door, let him explore the house, and she'll just run and hide. It'll be fine. That is not what happened. What happened was I opened the door, she hissed and ran, and he fucking chased her ass. It was
awesome.
I see her dart, and he goes, and I was like, oh God. And I had a couch at this time, your grandma's old couch.
Mm-hmm.
And she hid underneath it, and he literally chased her underneath the couch. It was the funniest fucking thing I have ever seen.
It's awesome.
And now they are best friends. They love each other. They groom each other. She only plays with him. She doesn't play with the new one, but he also still is not fixed, which I'm fixing. But appointments are really fucking difficult.
Yeah.
But either way. And then
So then the next cat that got brought home,
is that Orion?
yes. It's my Orion.
He is a very judgmental
sensitive boy.
He is a judgmental, non-social
sensitive
little
boy. He is my sensitive boy.
She is a mother. Do you hear how she defends her antisocial little shit?
No, him's just a skittish little man. He is my skittish bean. So Orion, so after I worked at a couple of other places, I wound up. No, you're fine. I wound up working at a clinic. It was a mixed practice, so worked with, exotic animals, horses, cattle, that kind of stuff.
So cool.
They did farm calls, that kind of thing.
Just so fucking cool.
It was cool. At least the idea of it is cool.
Actually doing it was not.
No, it's that I didn't work there for very long because that was the place that was real sketch.
Ew.
So, but there was a lady that worked there. Her name is Melissa. Yeah, Melissa.
Okay.
And she she lived on a big piece of land out in the country.
Okay.
And so she would frequently find kittens. And so she'd bring them to work, or she'd have neighbors that found kittens because of all the stray cats that would have, litters of kittens. And so she'd bring them into work, and then she would, get them vaccinated and stuff, and they'd stay there for a little while, and then they would get adopted. She'd, post them on Facebook and stuff. And say, hey,
of course.
These kittens are available for adoption. Come get them. And so she brought in this super teeny tiny, weeks old kitten. Yeah. He was smaller than Ichi and Ripley are now.
Well, not now. I just meant when you first got them.
Yes.
Okay.
Whenever we first got them, he was even smaller than when I first got them.
And now.
Yes.
Hi, Alice.
But he was even littler than that. I brought him home when he was at least a month old. But he was even smaller than that whenever he was first brought into the clinic.
Did you see your daughter?
Good Alice. Meow. Alice.
She's like,
No, girl.
I wanted attention, madam.
Alice.
We are gonna have the
Oh, yeah,
breaking
let's go
news,
to-
unless you break shit out there.
Speaking of cats, you've got a dog in your cat bed.
Breaking news, we have this is what.
Special guest.
A special guest appearance. We have talked about him before. He is now a friend of ours and joining us on this podcast. This is Red, aka Gingy. Hey! Welcome to our first guest on our Pots and Plants podcast.
Oh wow, that's
This is the very first guest.
He's like, what an honor. What an honor.
oh my gosh, that's incredible. Okay.
So we are talking about. Oh, I should preface this by saying everything before that I've said about Red is disregarded. We are good friends.
Gucci now.
We are friends. We are good friends. If I hit him enough times, maybe I'll believe it.
That makes me really worried for what you said in the
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
That is mostly just a like, is this gonna be a thing or no?
Yeah, that's literally all it was, hey, I'm interested in this person. We have plans of stuff. Is this gonna work or not? But we are good now. We are Gucci. We are friends. High five. Yeah. So we are talking about our cats. Would you like to tell us the story of how you got Bear and what kind of cat Bear is?
Well, Bear is, Bear and Simba are both domestic short hairs. We got them as a bonded pair, and
So
then,
litter mates?
Just a bonded.
not
parenting.
What is
litter
a bond-
mates. They're
what is the
a year
difference?
difference. So they came from the same household.
Gotcha.
When they were
Bonded pair.
So yeah, the weird thing was a few months after like they got them acclimated and everything like that, and then they started fighting, which was really weird.
Bear wasn't it? No, Simba that had to go to the vet.
Yeah, Simba had a UTI,
Oh.
and I think it somehow affected the pheromones that they were putting off, that Simba was putting off, and
Simba smelled different, and Bear went.
Simba
like Simba.
Simba
Fuck
smelled
are you
different, but he was also more easily agitated.
I was gonna say his
Gosh.
demeanor, his temper changed, his
So,
demeanor changed.
Because Bear, if you've seen pictures of him, he is a huge cat. He's the younger brother of the two.
Okay.
So they're not litter mates. They're a year apart. Simba would be 3 now. Bear's 2.
Okay.
But Bear is like twice the weight of Simba.
Oh, okay.
He's a big ass cat. He's probably, I think he was
What
like,
kind of cat is he?
Looks like brown tabby to me.
yeah,
Brown tabby?
Yeah.
yeah.
Brown tabby, domestic short hair, big dude. He's cute though.
Yeah,
She
but
says big dude. He's,
he's
cute,
like a
if anyone
14 or
can't hear.
15 pound cat, but none of it is fat. Like he is
Oh.
absolutely.
Like Tubbsy, like cat.
He's a tank of a cat.
Asgard.
Yeah.
We're leaning towards
Yeah.
because Asgard's still growing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's strong enough that he's been able to like pull like pet gates down.
Oh yeah. Oh,
And-
damn.
Just a combination of his strength and his weight. But he also, whenever we get home, he likes to like claw your shirt, pull you down, and try to get you to come down to hug him as soon as you get home.
That's so
He also
cute.
likes to be held like a baby,
Doggone it.
like full on cradled.
Felt like being a little dangerous today.
Minor.
I could paint your nails if you wanted.
I'd be open to it.
Heck yeah! Heck yeah! I'm gonna paint your nails. Hold on, give me your nails.
Oh gosh, is it red?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Anyway, continue the cats. Here. Insert this one.
So, yeah, Bear's just a tank of a cat, but he's a big baby. Simba has been the primary aggressor because he's the one that like starts the fight, and then he can't finish it because he's just outclassed, outmaneuvered, outclassed, outweighed. for comparison, when we got Simba, he was about 7 pounds. To Bear Bear's 13 or 14.
You said 7 pounds?
Yeah, he's a healthier weight now that he's on a better diet. Because once we got his UTI, we changed his diet. And that's been doing better. We've been using this stuff called Feel Away.
Yes, Feel Away. Yep.
Yep. So we have them like the Glade plug-in style.
For those who don't know, Feel Away is a cat calming agent that you can like plug into the wall, and it lets off pheromones so that everyone chills the fuck out. Spicy. Okay, other hand.
Okay.
Well, I can't just let you do one hand. That's just rude.
Yeah, but I feel like that makes me edgy or something.
No. It makes you incomplete.
So
So yeah.
Yeah, but Bear Bear has kind of taken the placeholder of like my cat. Even though it was one of those things where, like he wasn't originally like anything, but when I'm home, like when I get home from work, he's all about that.
Aww.
So-
Yeah, that's your baby. Okay.
Yep. So
I need to clean up that hand a little bit, but. Ta-da!
yeah.
We're matching and shit. But yeah, so
Red nails, red hair.
anything you want to say to our lovely guests? I thank you for sharing about Bear Bear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Awesome.
Thanks for painting my nails.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Been fun. Good to see you.
Let you guys get to it. Sounds like John's finally awake.
Yeah, which means that, is this going to have to be a part 2 to talk about the rest?
No, that's okay.
Okay. All right.
He's gonna
so then-
chill and stuff. So.
Okay. So.
Levi.
Yes, hi Levi.
This is Bed. This is my buddy. Yeah, this
You don't
is
have
the bowl.
Q-tips, do you?
Then, yes, I do, but they're all in the bathroom.
I'll go grab
Oh no, hold on. There might be a bag of them.
Oh yeah, there was.
In there.
No,
No, wrong bag. Yeah, that one. If they're in anywhere, they're gonna be in that one.
I remember seeing them last time. Where did you go? Don't do this to me. Don't abandon me now. Yes, there they are. There they are. Oh, you do. Okay, so you were telling us about Orion.
Yes.
Your aloof boy.
My sensitive child.
I give him a lot of shit because he doesn't
So does
he
John.
doesn't love on me the way the rest of them do. But he is a good boy.
The only person he likes is me.
Yes.
Like, period.
He likes
The
mom.
only person he likes is me. But he is. Let's see. So he was brought in as a stray when he was very, very small. I mean, like weeks old, small. He was tiny.
That's what we're-
And
yep.
so, he stayed at the clinic for a little while, and then we were talking about the fact that he needed to be. I was talking to my coworkers about the fact that he needed to be like socialized. He needs to be introduced to other cats, live in a home setting, so that way whenever he gets adopted, he doesn't just like used to living in a clinic all the time. Hello, Andromeda.
This is
This
Andromeda.
There's Andromeda's butthole.
We are getting all of the babies now.
Andromeda, come here.
Hi, Alice. Alice.
Come here, Munchkin. This is Andromeda. It's a good baby.
Alice. Hi, pretty girl. Hi, pretty girl. Hi, pretty girl.
But yeah, so Orion was super teeny tiny. We were talking about the fact that he needed to be fostered so that way he could be introduced to other cats, live in like a home setting, so that way whenever he got adopted, he would, be used to that sort of environment. And I was like, well, I have cats, and I have Levi, who is like the best big brother ever. As far as like bringing home tiny kittens and teaching them how to play and how to groom and generally getting along, like Levi is just the best for that. And so, like, I was like, yeah, I can totally bring him home and foster him for a little while and find him a new home and stuff, because I was like, I wasn't like super attached to this kitten. I didn't see him as being like a forever cat for me. I just kind of brought him home, and I was like, yeah, this is fine. You know, I can foster him, and then I can...
You can teach him, love him, and then give him to someone
and then
who
give him
can.
to someone else who will love him. So he never left.
He is a foster fail.
He is my first foster fail.
Yeah.
He is weird. Whenever he was teeny tiny, he was like... He was playful, rambunctious. He was super affectionate whenever he was real tiny. And then, like, as he got older, he got just a little bit more skittish, a little more aloof, a little more nervous.
Grumpy.
He's not grumpy, though. He's not aggressive in any way. He's just terrified of everything.
It's like he has Kermit. Jonah Marble's Kermit.
Yeah.
Orion
is my Kermit.
He has PTSD from a war he has never been at.
Yes. Yeah, Orion is my Kermit. But Orion just kind of became a little bit more nervous all the time as he got older, and so now he's like my super skittish, nervous boy who is absolutely terrified of everyone except for me. Like, he is mama's boy, and he's nervous and scared of everything, and like...
If you pet him, he is calm. But he is not like, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
He doesn't
like lean into it and get really excited about it unless it's mommy.
Mm-hmm.
If it's mommy doing it, then he will. But everybody else, he's just kind of like, you're touching me. They're touching me. They're touching me. There's a person touching me. Who's touching me?
Exactly it.
Yeah. So.
But I get that because my boys have also always been very skittish.
Mm-hmm.
Although yours is not. Mine is opening up. So mine is doing the opposite of what yours did.
Yeah. And then after that is Riku. I say after Orion, we got Riku.
Baby Nugget.
We technically went to the animal shelter to go get a puppy.
Did you really?
We sure did. We went to the animal shelter to go get a puppy. They didn't have any puppies. The one dog that they did have that was about 8 months old or so was not a good fit for us. Far too high energy, wouldn't be good with cats, that kind of thing. He was really cute. He was a bull terrier, bull terrier mix. And so he had like the target dog.
Oh, okay.
That's what kind of dog.
Yeah. I recognized the name. I didn't. Okay. Yeah.
Target dog.
Yeah. Cute.
Yeah. So he was a mix of that, and he was really super sweet. He was a very nice, very friendly dog, but it just was not a good fit for us with how many cats we had.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And so
Understood.
we made a pass on that, and then while we were sitting there getting ready to leave, I heard kittens meowing in the other room.
And you were like, I have to go see the kittens.
I have to go look. I have to go, even just to go look. I just want to go look.
Yeah, we're not gonna get one. I swear.
Yeah,
we'll
I was
just
like,
look.
we're not looking with the
Come
intent of adopting. We're just gonna go look. Fine. And then, so John's looking around, looking at kittens. He's playing with some kittens over in the corner or whatever. And I spot a small, 3-month-old orange tabby kitten sleeping in a cubby, just avoiding everyone. He's just not interested in being near anybody, none of the other cats, no people, nothing, that kind of thing. He's just off in the corner sleeping, doing his own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I go over there and I introduce myself and I pet him, and he gets all excited about it, and he's like, oh, this is awesome, this is lovely. And then he comes out and sits on a shelf in front of me and kind of face height with me, so that way I can sit there and pet him, and we're bonding a little bit, just kind of hanging out and petting this kitten. I was like, this kitten's really fucking cute, this cat's adorable, and he's really sweet. And I'm like, John, what do you think? This kitten's awesome. And the lady, and I wasn't completely sold on it until one of the caregivers came in and told me that that particular kitten hasn't let anyone else touch him except for us.
That's always a sign.
Uh-huh. She was like, that cat just kind of has, since he's gotten here, been hiding in a cubby, sleeping, doing his own thing, and hasn't come out for anyone. The only people he's come out for is you. you have to take him home. He's picked you. And I was like, we're taking this cat home. So that's how we wound up with Riku. Alright, no, you have to do Asgard, and then I'll do the littles.
Yes, because the littles were last. So Asgard, hold on, Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper break.
Oh, well, I've been fixing my nails.
Fair.
Looking so much better, so much cleaner. It's just a matter of I'm not talented at staying in the lines, so cleanup is necessary. If you ever wanted to get me a present that Simply Nailogical latex shit would be fucking fantastic. Not saying you have to, I'm just saying if you ever needed an idea, there's one. Or just liquid latex in general apparently is really good for it. Anyway, so Asgard. So I was living in a motel for a while, and I had Avalon and Atlantis, and they were happy. It was a very big room. Like, it was not a small room. When I say a motel, I've lived in a studio apartment. This thing was bigger than that. The only difference is it didn't have a kitchenette like the apartment did. But it had like a full bathroom and everything else. So, and then I worked there, so I was getting discounted rent, so I was paying less than what I would have paid had I lived anywhere else. So we were just sitting there, you know, doing a thing, and one of my friends who no longer lived at the motel but had lived there at one point texted me, and they said, hey, do you know anyone who wants a kitten? And I was like, well, Kylie has a shit ton of cats. No. And I was like, I don't think so. Why, what's up? She texts me that she found this little fur ball in a CVS parking lot with nothing but a can of cat food. And my heart broke. And then she texted me a picture of him. And he had this little silver mane all over, and he couldn't have been more than 3-4 months. He was tiny. And I was like, let me look for you. And she's like, we really can't keep him, because she had a lot of cats too. She had about 6 or 7 cats as well, that she had for a very long time, kind of in the situation Kylie's at, where they were just a lot of cats because that was her babies. And she's like, I really just can't keep him. I just do not have the space. Yeah. And so I was like, Kylie wouldn't have the space either, because she has all of hers, and excuse me. And yeah, so there's just a lot going on, and I was like, fuck. And I thought about it, was trying to find it, and then the guy I was dating, D, I guess we can call him D, because that's what I had him as in my phone. The guy I was dating had said something about how he was gonna take him, and then he was gonna give him some stupid ass name. I don't even remember what the name was. And I was like, no, you're not. No, absolutely not. I was like, something in me.
I don't trust you.
Yeah. So I was like, fuck it. He's mine. I'm taking him. So I picked him up. Or no, they dropped him off. But I was just like, oh my God. Like, he was just super sweet. Super cuddly. Super fucking affectionate. And I wanted a mythical city. Again, was not thinking of A names originally. I just wanted a mythical city. I think I thought about Isengard at one point. But then I fucking decided to look. And I went online and looked at, I literally typed in mythical cities, and it was an alphabetical list. Because it was on Wikipedia. And so I went down the list, and Asgard popped out, and I was like, that's my baby.
Done.
That's my baby. So this little fluff ball has now turned into a good sized fucking Maine Coon, all black, the most affectionate, loving. He reminds me of Frank so much. It's uncanny. Like, where Frank was just like, you were the person he was all over. Like, everyone else he was okay with, but you were the person he was all over. That's me. But now Avalon's being, sorry, totally random, off track, but Avalon's starting to be more affectionate too, where Avalon wants to lay in my arms all day. So then I've got Asgard fucking yelling at me from the floor saying, I want cuddles. And then I've got Avalon laying on me saying, bitch, this is my mom, fuck off. And then I've got Atlantis in the corner judging everyone like the grandma that she is. Okay, sorry. And then But yes, Asgard, he just had his gotcha day.
Yeah.
He just had his gotcha day, and it was very cool. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe it's been a whole year since I've had my baby boy. He is my baby. We call him Asgard, or Fluffy Butt, or Asshole, because he does have an attitude problem sometimes. But then Kylie had an interesting thing happen.
It did. So what happened was
See what happened.
So what happened was so my husband and I were out. I think we were picking up Mom or taking Mom to.
You were taking Mom too.
We were taking Mom to a friend's house. And it just so happened that the neighbors across the street from that friend had a cat that had a litter of kittens about a month or two ago. Or, no, like about 2 to 3 months prior. And John and I were like, "Aw, kittens, let's go look at them," you know, and we went over there.
There was no way those kittens were 2 to 3 months.
Their eyes weren't blue. Which
You
means
think-
they had to have been at least 2 to 3 months old, because that's when their eyes change color.
They were so fucking tiny.
They were
Sorry,
real little, but
sorry.
they were-
This is total
They
side
were also
commentary,
probably
but
malnourished is also their problem.
fair. They were just tiny as fuck.
Yeah.
I thought they were like 6 weeks. Like that's how they looked.
That's about how old Orion was whenever I brought him home.
I know. That's
Because
why
he-
I was
because-
wondering.
But his eyes were still bright blue. Orion's eyes aren't blue anymore.
Jeez. Anyway, sorry. Total interruption, but I was just, that's flabbergasting to me.
Yeah, no. So we went over there. They were probably at least, 2.5, 3 months old ish. And we went and I sat down. We were just going to go over there and look at them. And so I sit down on the stairs because all the kittens are like playing on this little staircase or whatever. There's like, 6, like 5 or 6 of them just running around playing on the stairs. And I sit down and John's over, looking around, trying to get the kittens to interact with them. A lot of them are kind of like still a little bit, sketch of people.
Yeah.
Because, they're strays.
It happens.
But I sit down and Ripley jumps in my lap and just like hops in my lap and lays down. And I'm like,
You've been chosen.
I've been chosen. This one has chosen me. And then I looked at my husband and I said, "We're taking this one home." And he said, "All right, give me a second." And then he walks off and he goes and tries to find the runt of the litter.
Because that's what
Because
kind
that's
of
what
man
he
your
does.
husband is, which is so
That's
cute.
the kind of man my husband is he goes and he finds the runt of the
He
litter.
finds the one that needs the most love to give.
Yeah. And so he goes and he finds Ichi. And he goes, "I want this one." And I was like, we're taking home 2? And he was like, "Yeah, if we're taking home that one, I want to take home this one." And I said, "All right, that means we got 8 cats." And he goes, "What's 8 when we already have 6?" And I said, "Okay." And so we get a cardboard box and we bring home 2 more kittens who wound up having ringworm and fleas.
That was a fun.
That was an
fun.
adventure. But they are now
Adorable and ridiculous.
4 months old.
It hasn't been a month since you've gotten them. It's been like 2 months since you've had them.
I know, but if they were like 2.5, 3 months old,
So they'd
but
be
they're
like,
I'd say because they're definitely not 5 months old.
okay, so then yeah, like 4 months.
Yeah, I'd say that they're like 4.
But
months
that's why I
old,
was so
4.5
confused. I was
maybe.
like, what?
Yeah, 4.5 maybe, because like they're nowhere near 6 months old because they're just not big enough, not yet.
Well, yeah.
Just 6 months old 6-month-old kittens basically look like fucking adults.
Yeah.
And they definitely don't look like that, not yet. That and 6 months old kittens start having heat cycles, which they are not. So, but yeah. So that's how I wound up with the 2 little ones. The long-haired, fluffy one is Ripley, and then the short-haired one that used to look really short-haired one that used to have a whole lot of hair missing and be really skinny and look.
She's now
sick.
the healthier looking one.
She is now the healthier looking one, and that one's Ichi. I was saying Ripley gave us a scare recently.
What?
Well, not like recently, but like whenever she got really sick and you were taking care of her.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
they
she
went.
scared the
So
hell
they
out of
had.
us.
So they had actually had. That was when they were having their wedding, and I think we talked a little bit about that. But Ripley got real sick, where she was having, leakage in her, bottom, and she wasn't really keeping down food, and it was just very scary. And so they had already had this trip planned, and they're like, "Hey, Karen, can you stay with her and make sure that she's, doing okay?" Hi, Miss Andromeda.
Get your glue.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna do my nails.
Yeah.
And your glue with you.
Yeah,
I
for
really
sure.
Need to.
But yes, so she had a really big scare, but then it was so funny. I just took care of her, and whenever they got back, they were like, "Who is this? This is a completely different cat." And I'm
Yeah,
like,
we came home to a different cat.
I don't know.
what she did with Ripley, but
I loved her.
yeah, I'll say you loved her. She got to sleep on you. You fed her all the time. Like I couldn't have asked for a better outcome for that. Like I'm so thankful. But yeah, she better now.
She is much better.
But yeah, so that was really scary, but I'm glad that it turned out the way that it did.
Yes,
And happy and healthy and
now we have
annoying her sister.
our two clouders.
Stick to my finger, please.
Yeah, it does that. You gotta be real careful with how much you use of that. You gotta use just enough to coat the entire nail, because otherwise it will stick to your fingers when you're putting it on. I've done that way too many times. Because then sometimes whenever you're picking your fingers up from the nail, I've actually picked up the nail with my finger, and I'm like, well, that didn't work.
That's not what I wanted.
That's not how that was supposed to go, mister. But yes, so now we have our two complete clouders. Again, our cats don't even know each other, but we would kill for each other's cats.
Yeah. I love Miss Atlantis. She's a fat girl.
She is.
I haven't gotten to interact with Asgard very much, but that's because literally every time I come into her room, he runs under her bed.
My cats
I've literally never pet him. I've never pet him.
But then again, Avalon is fucking 4, and he's just now gotten to a point where he will let people pet him. My cats are ridiculously non-socialized when it comes to people, mostly because I am not socialized when it comes to people, which sounds really bad, but okay, no. Here's the actual thing. The actual thing is that while I hang out with people don't generally come to my house.
Yeah.
They just don't. Generally, it's people saying, "Hey, do you want to come over?" And I'm like, "Okay," but then my cats don't see anyone.
Yeah.
So, it's
don't
kind
see
of
anyone except for you.
Exactly. It's kind of a mix, but they're getting used to my roommates and stuff, and they're getting used to a bigger place because I've always lived in studios, and now I have this house that I live in, and it's great. And Avalon lets Miss Bree pet him now, which is very cool because he was hissing at her for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's because she smelled like Naveen.
Yes. Yeah, I think so too.
And he hasn't interacted with Naveen in a fat minute, so maybe that correlation of gross smelling cat is not there. And the more he socializes with her as she socializes with Naveen, the more he'll think of Naveen as a
good thing.
A good thing, yes. And that way, whenever they're exploring and all hanging out together, there's not really any fights.
Yeah.
Which is what I'm afraid of, because I let Naveen and Atlantis socialize once, and that turned into a cat fight.
Yeah.
Where Atlantis hid under the couch for literally hours.
Poor girl.
I know, I was like, "Baby, if you want a safe place, my room is right there." And she's just like, "Fuck you!
Yeah.
You did this to me, mother!" I said, "My bad, baby, I love you." And she said, "Fuck you!" It was heartbreaking. I don't like it. I've started just letting Atlantis and Asgard do their things though, because Atlantis just hisses at him all the goddamn time, and I'm like, I'm tired of telling you to shut the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
It's not fair. You're fine. You're just annoyed that your brother wants to play and you don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
He's not doing anything.
I know, it's like Riku and anyone. Because, I don't know, something about Riku, like, he's just so high-strung, and, like, sometimes he's cool with other cats being near him, but most of the time he's like, I'm overwhelmed, hiss, run away.
Mm-hmm.
It's just obnoxious. Because, like, even if the kittens are there first, or if another cat is laying with me first, and then Riku walks up to them, and he's like, oh god, another cat, hiss. Fuck off! You got in their space, not the other way around.
Literally,
asshole.
Atlantis does the same fucking thing. The same fucking thing. If she walks over and sits down, she'll start hissing at if anyone else was there or is laying on top of her. And I'm like, woman, you just sat on them. This is your fault.
Yeah.
Asgard used to do that to Avalon, but I feel like they've, from the interactions I've seen, I'm pretty sure that they've kind of had their powwow. I'm sure it was when I did not see it, when I was not home, but they have had their powwow because they are interacting way better recently. I mean, they've always been like, they'll lay next to each other sometimes, but now it's like constantly they'll lay next to each other. They're playing a lot better together too, so I'm like, okay, they've come to some kind of understanding.
Yeah. They've had their come to Jesus.
I don't really care who is the alpha in the house as long as there is not fighting about it.
Yeah.
Like, you guys figure out your own shit and let me know when you have it figured out.
Yeah. My cats are my life. They have stockings. I need to buy more for the rest of my cats.
I need to figure out if I want to
My
set up
two
any
cats.
Christmas stuff at my house.
My 2 cats that I've had that have passed. Yes, Andromeda. Oh, I would not encourage that.
Oh.
Her nails are razor blades, and if she jumps on you and slips,
I know. I bet.
she will slice you open.
I know. You were on the box.
Like,
That
she's
is
a girl, but
unstable.
she's sharp. I'm gonna borrow this for a hot second.
Sticker. Yeah. But yeah, so those are our cats. This is our clouder. We don't have a coven or a family. We have a clouder. Wouldn't that be accurate, Kylie? We're thinking we've talked
It's
about,
probably a good spot.
yeah, we've talked about
about all
our
the cats,
babies and
Dream
our
houses.
dreams and our
Our
nails.
Barbie dream houses.
Our Barbie dream houses. No, our Morticia dream houses. What are you talking about?
Yes.
And we had our special guest. So we'll have to include that in the title. That
Yep.
we have a special guest
Special
this episode.
guest.
But once again, I am
Rosa
Potts,
River.
also Karen, and also known as the Care Bear Girl. Either girl is spelled either G-I-R-L or G-U-R-L on everything. And then Kylie, this is Kylie Plants at Midna Monstera or on OnlyFans, Mommy Monstera. I'm also on OnlyFans. Check us out. And anyway, we love you. We hope you have a wonderful week, and we will see you all next week. Bye.